Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So in today's video, I'm going to provide you guys with a side-by-side comparison video between this beautiful 2022 Lexus LX600 and my personally owned 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser Heritage Edition. The Lexus is on the fully re-engineered body-on-frame design, whereas the Land Cruiser over here is on the 200 series. So this is the last generation of the Land Cruiser that we receive here in the States. However, there is that 300 series that is offered in other places of the world, other parts of the world, right? But we just no longer get it. That's the bummer. So this is all we get. And let me tell you, it's not a bad option. It really isn't, right, guys? You've seen my previous videos of it. It truly is a phenomenal vehicle. It is still very, very different from the Land Cruiser, especially the 200 series over here. The 200 series is starting to look like a relic by comparison, especially if you get inside of that, sit in there, which we'll do here in a second, and then immediately sit in the Land Cruiser. You feel like you're going back in the past 15 years immediately, right? But like you've heard me say multiple times, there's a large amount of appeal in the Land Cruiser here when it comes to just how raw and just how simplistic the interior is, right? Inside and outside, I should say, right? I mean, there's no additional flares to it. There's no giant front grille here screaming in your face, saying how much money you spent. Whereas this is just, to a lot of people, a glorified Highlander, right? And I like that. I really appreciate that. I don't need to be driving around in a vehicle that screams I spent so much money. But most Americans are not that way, right? I mean, most Americans appreciate seeing where their dollars went. And when you get into the Lexus here, even as you're walking up to it, you're like, okay, wow, this is a premium luxury vehicle. And you immediately feel where every one of your dollars went. Especially when you sit inside the cab there, you look around, you start feeling all the materials. It truly is a wonderful place to be. Lexus knocked it out of the park with this, I would argue. I would also argue, although the power plant, the new power plant in this is phenomenal, you guys know you're not surprised by this statement, but I prefer the old archaic 5.7 liter V8 here attached to that 8-speed automatic transmission within the 200 series. This does have that 3.5 liter V6, twin turbo V6. It is not the hybrid that you find in the iForce Max of the new Tundra that I had a few weeks ago, which that iForce Max with the giant battery strapped in the back of it is remarkable. It throws you in the back of your seat. 583 torque that Tundra had, whereas this has 479 foot-pounds of torque and 409 horsepower. So you do feel a notable difference between this and that new iForce Max and the Tundra, but I would argue that this is going to be just perfect for 9 out of 10 people out there, right? You don't need much more than this. It's going to tow exactly how much you need or more, right? It's going to be extremely capable in that regard and plenty fast to overtake on the freeway, and just the thrill of driving it is still there. Had I not driven that Tundra just a couple weeks ago, I would be extra pleased with the performance here. And I made this point in my previous video for the few of you who watched that. I would argue that Lexus and Toyota for the 300 series were very purposeful with the exact power plant that they put in this, between the actual engine itself and the transmission. I would argue that they purposely left out that giant battery pack, left out the the iForce Max variant power plant in this, because you can't have 100% confidence in that, the longevity of that, right? Whenever you're putting a giant hybrid battery pack into a vehicle, you can't go into that with peace of mind that's going to last much more than 10 years with full confidence. Whereas with this platform, I think you could. They can go into this knowing that, hey, this is going to work out for a long time. And that was always the mindset with the Land Cruiser, right? The Toyota technicians, they built that thing to last 25 years, at least 25 years with minimal maintenance, and expecting very, very little issues to take place over the course of ownership. So they went into that longevity mindset right from the beginning. So let's talk about a couple of the exterior Q differences between the two of them here, because although this is the Lexus, it really does mimic a lot of the exterior features that you would find in the 300 series as well, right? Just the overall profile is dang near identical. Obviously the front grille is a notable difference between this and the 300 series, but just the overall fender lines, right? And even the 2 or 3 piece actual fender trim piece right here is something that you find on the 300 series as well. And when you look at the 200 series, you don't get that. And I remember at the beginning with my ownership of my first one of these, my 2020 Land Cruiser, I remember kind of being like, dang, why didn't they at least put on some sort of fender flare there? I remember thinking that. But again, you grow to appreciate the look of it and the simplicity of it over time. Again, it's an acquired taste, really. So, but yeah, back to my point. Share as much of the side profile that you would find on the 300 series Land Cruiser. Kind of show you down the line here. So you can kind of see some of the definition. Sorry, there's a lot of reflection on it. The wheels, maybe in my younger years, I would really like and appreciate the bigger rims, the bigger wheels, but not so much nowadays. I appreciate having a lot more tire to protect from any kind of curbing that might happen. You know, by accident, just driving around. You know, curbing in the Starbucks drive-through. You don't want to get too sporty. So, but those are a nice looking wheel, of course. I think the back end of the Lexus is very, very sleek. And mature lines to it. One bummer about this platform that it shares with the 300 series is they got rid of the split tailgate, right? So whereas the Land Cruiser, I'll show you here in a second and remind you, it has a maybe quarter way up, you have the split. So where it goes up and then you pull down for a tailgate. I'll show you this. So that is much faster than what is stock on the Land Cruiser as far as the opening, right? Plenty of space back here. It is still that body-on-frame design, you know, that rigid, re-engineered body-on-frame over here, which is 20% stronger compared to the last iteration, the same body-on-frame design that the Land Cruiser has over there. 20% stronger in this, which is incredible. So, plenty of room back here. Got your handy-dandy little safety first aid kit there. But plenty of room back here. What I don't like about this particular one, this is the Ultra Luxury. It has the 2 captain's chairs back here, which is wonderful if you're a family of 4, but if you're like us, we have 3 kiddos, so we need that additional space back here. So not so much ideal for our particular scenario, but still a wonderful place to be. We'll hit that here. Oh, we got a buggy and peanut feature. Got a buggy. Hey, buggy, what you doing? Yes. Are you gonna be good? You super excited, buddy? Oh yeah, it is a little mousy, huh? All right, guys. Well, let's look at the 200 series. Since we just kind of peeked around that, the most notable difference perhaps is the front ends, which I've already kind of peeked at on the other side. But a lot going on here. I do love the headlights. They're such a sleek design, and you're not going to get much of a great view with the reflection here. Forgive me, guys. But it is awesome. They both share a very similar-ish hood. So this has kind of a wider little half pipe here. I'll kind of show you the full front too. Whereas this has a little bit more of a narrow half pipe here. There's that front end. Again, darkened blacked out headlights on the Heritage Edition. This was not the case on the non-Heritage Land Cruisers, which I love that. I think that's a huge thing on the Heritage Edition that really brings it together, in my personal opinion. This is all darkened chrome too, throughout, of course, with the darkened gunmetal bronze finish throughout the front, unique to the Heritage. The adaptive cruise control Toyota safety senses integrated within the logo up front here, the badge. Same goes for the Lexus. You can already tell, and this is quote unquote in the high setting, right? So it is, you can adjust it up and down with the active height control, the AHC. This is in the high setting. There's your approach angle-ish. You can see hydraulic suspension over here, which is cool. Then you get your KDSS, kinetic dynamic suspension system over here in the Land Cruiser in the 200 series, which I would argue is the best. Again, this is my bias shining through perhaps, but I do think it's the best suspension system that you can get, even better than the box tier detuned suspension that you would find on the Pros. So I'll show you the split tailgate real quick. I love this badge. Again, unique to the Heritage Edition. Don't mind the mess, but you see what I'm talking about? We got the split tailgate here. He's popped this guy here. Does electronic release. Don't mind the carnage back here. And T-Rex head. How about that? We went to the beach this weekend, Ocean City. It was awesome, but now we got some carnage back here. But that's why I buy a Land Cruiser, right? You can enjoy the thing, not get too bent out of shape and get it dirty. If you have kids, you quickly get over that OCD. So you pop that back up. You got your button over here, but I have it disconnected right now, disengaged. So we just pull down the lever. So a little bit easier that way. The tail lights back here seem straight out of 2007, especially by comparison to the Lexus over there. But when the lights are on, this really is a beautiful looking tail light with the LED lighting within it. It really is nice. One of my favorite bits would be these bronze BBS forged wheels here, 18-inch wheels, which I think look beautiful. I mean, I'm a huge fan of them on the Tundra. They come on the Tundra TRD Pro as well, 2021 and older, but in black. But huge fan of these. And you guys know I put the BF Goodrich KO2s on it. So I'll peek on the inside here. Hey, Peanut. Show the inside. The inside is nowhere near as nice, of course, quote unquote nice as the Lexus. It's still plain nice. It has plenty of creature comforts. Hey guys, what you doing?
We're trying to get you a little butt.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So it's still plain nice. So let me show you. I'll show you driver side by driver side here. So with this one, kind of a small thing to note, but you notice a little bit more of a kind of a curvature in the actual door panel itself. So up top, you know, you get more of a bend up here, which is really cool. Adds to the whole entire definition of the vehicle. But yeah, this over here looks like a Ferrari by comparison to what you just looked at over there, right? But you know, there's goodness and badness to it. But this is a much more, much nicer place to be, if we're being honest. You know, if you can get used to the tech in here, you know, I think you can really, really grow to love this vehicle here. I am a huge fan of this wood grain interior, especially that darkened wood. It is beautiful, especially compared to the Land Cruiser over there that has that 2001, you know, lighter brown wood trim bits in there, which is almost iconic for the Land Cruiser at this point. But it screams its age for sure. Got a double side entry over here. Same button on the far side that you can pull it, and of course your cup holders and all your gizmos here, but your dual screen, high definition screens, which are beautiful. The resolution and the backup camera in this is far superior. I'll show you that for fun. Let's just do that. Let me show you. So the push to start is high. I've mentioned that in my previous video. It feels natural for it to be like right in this area, right? That's where it is on nearly every other vehicle. Put foot on a brake, pop it up there. Kind of a cool startup sequence. But pretty intuitive, especially for having touch screens within it. Apple CarPlay is phenomenal, which, you know, you don't get Apple CarPlay in that. That will automatically connect to wirelessly, which is, you know, something that in today's day and age you almost come to expect in new vehicles, right? Let me show you reverse. That's the main thing I wanted to show you here. Sorry, let me shut the door so you're not getting... But I think the resolution on this is outstanding. Of course, as you turn the wheel, the lines will turn, but huge fan of the resolution in here. Have the leather interior all throughout, up on the dash. Phenomenal sound system in here too, as you'd expect, of course. And a digital gauge cluster up there, which is nice. It's going to be the norm, the standard really here moving forward, right? So those old analog displays and gauges that you find in that 200 series are going to quickly become a thing of the past. So we'll turn it off and we'll show you the startup on the Land Cruiser. The Land Cruiser, you get the Heritage Edition. It has the black mirror caps too, whereas the rest of the vehicle, of course, is magnetic gray metallic. Let me show you the headlights while it's still on. So definitely a sleek look. The leather in the Lexus is noticeably nicer for sure, and that's saying something, because the Land Cruiser here really is phenomenal. That's always been one of my biggest perks about the Land Cruiser here. So this is such a plush, soft place to be. Of course, you got the bronze stitching throughout it, being the Heritage Edition. But this is that wood trim I was just talking about. That just screams 2001, and that's being generous, I think. And you get it up on the steering wheel as well. I do like, even though it is kind of dated, I do like the metal trim bits in here. This is all metal, and it feels nice. So big fan of that. You know, all the gauges down here, all the buttons, I should say, they are very intuitive, very within reach, and very clear. There's no guesswork taking place, which you really grow to appreciate that. Underneath here, you get the wireless charging tray. You guys have seen this plenty. I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse a little bit if you frequent my channel, but I'll hop in. I'll show you the startup on this too. All right, so this is the push to start location on the 200 here. But very nice place to be. Analog gauges, of course, with a nice high-res center stack here. Let me pop it in reverse. Maybe they'll come through very similarly on camera here, but this, by comparison, is so pixelated. It is garbage by comparison. As I'm looking here through my camera, I can see why you guys would maybe think they're pretty similar, but they aren't. The Lexus is top-notch. The Lexus does have a digital rearview mirror up here too. When you pop the center button here, it'll actually go fully digital based off the cameras out back. But yeah, both of them are great places to be, super comfortable, and just fantastic for long distance road trips. Like I just mentioned, we went to Ocean City this weekend and 6 hours in the vehicle, and this is what we took, and it was super comfortable the entire way. So huge plus and perk for Land Cruiser and Lexus, of course. Both have grab handles on both sides. Lexus and Land Cruiser here. I like the steering wheels of each, minus the wood trim. You know, like I said, it is kind of iconic for Land Cruisers, but I don't love it. One thing I do love about this over the Lexus is I've gotten used to it. Again, we're creatures of habit, but I really have grown to appreciate the cruise control down here. I've gotten, you know, most Japanese vehicles have always put it there, and I've gotten used to it over the years. So, just a preference thing. Got your seat controls over here, memory positions, more metal, and more plastic. Alright team, well I've made this video plenty long. Actually, let me show you, sorry, one final thing. I'll show the back seats of each, we'll call it good. Oh, see, look at, this is dad life, guys. And a lot of you guys look at this and cringe. I don't blame you, but this is where we're at, okay? So kind of a semi-snug fit. These are all three very large car seats, so kind of keep that in mind here. Not ideal. The Tundra that I had was way better when it came to rear seat space, and I miss that all the time for sure. But I think the pros of the Land Cruiser outweigh ownership of the Tundra here. Let me show you the back seat of the Lexus. One other thing to note is this is a unique blank space. A blank space on the Lexus by comparison to the Land Cruiser there. This looks so clean by comparison to what you just saw. But you know, look at this, just phenomenal finishes all throughout. You get the blinds, of course, that wood, black wood grain trim, which looks beautiful. And again, this leather is just top notch. Black headliner in both, and all your center controls there and cup holders. So it is so soft, guys. So yeah, if you sit in here, you will be sold, I assure you. All right, team. Well, let me wrap up with a shot of both of them here, and you guys tell me your thoughts. I'm definitely interested. I love engaging with you all in the comments section. You guys know that. Again, I appreciate all of your support, and yeah, look forward to answering any questions you have. Appreciate you watching as always. Till next time.